Well, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely.
Today we have Joseph Borchers from North Point Technologies. If you just wouldn't mind going in and kind of explaining what North Point is and what you do.
So we're a IT consulting firm slash staffing. We've been in business for about 25 years now, mainly in the defense industry, providing talent to Lockheed, Leidos, CACI, Northrop, and more recently we have moved into the commercial sector, specifically automotive, some airport work, and also some finance work. So it's been a pretty good thing so far.
It's very impressive. I know in staffing and consulting, relationships matter a lot.
Yes.
How does digital marketing affect you winning clients and winning some of these contracts?
Well, digital marketing definitely doesn't replace the relationship base
Sure.
that's in consulting. I mean, it's very much I trust you, you trust me, because there's hundreds of staffing firms out there. A lot of people think of us as body shop, but it's really the connection that you make with these people, and a lot of that has to do with what your website looks like, your case studies that are on your website, past experience. So we really leverage past experience onto our website, LinkedIn, social media pages, specifically so when clients are looking at our pages, they get kind of a feeling for who we are, and we're a woman-owned small business. So they kind of get the full effect, so they kind of know us before either they reach out to us or we reach out to them.
So you would say networking is a big part of your industry.
Absolutely. Networking is the main thing. Whether it's our connections here at the university has got us in with some clients, but I mean, there's a lot of networking that goes on, specifically through social media channels.
Very nice. So what of those channels you just mentioned, which ones are the most effective for your business?
I mean, I think LinkedIn's by far the most effective. We use LinkedIn and then Rocket Reach. We kind of use those two as a combination. So we can kind of track down specific names at larger companies that we might target, or that went to school at the University of Miami, and then kind of go after them specifically. LinkedIn messaging, of course, is the easiest way to get in contact.
Sure.
Usually to get someone's email. When you get their email, of course, you follow up with email. And again, it all kind of plays into it. You also have, your website and some of your other social media accounts.
Sure.
That you want to be polished, because you're dealing with people who are, decently high up at companies, at least that are making decisions based on if you're going to get in with them. So.
Oh, well, how you'd mentioned that a part of, your website and your LinkedIn page that you publish case studies. Is that a way that you try and build trust with the clients you're working with?
I think so. I mean, honestly, the biggest advantage for us in the last, 6 months or 8 months moving into the commercial industry, which again is a lot, is kind of tough. There's a lot more competition. The defense industry is very regulated. So we leverage our defense relationships and experience, specifically with case studies in the federal government and Department of Defense, to leverage that into more work into the commercial side.
Okay.
Because there's a certain level of trust that a commercial client has for you when you're protecting, Homeland Security.
Sure.
That if the government trusts you, why shouldn't a commercial client? So that plays into it.
I mean, that makes sense. And then with these case studies, I know you mentioned that you publish them on your website, but do you do any other promotion around them through either social media or other paid ads?
Well, a little bit. In the defense industry specifically, in the intelligence community, maybe I should say, it's frowned upon a little to publicize, of course, too much information.
Sure.
Specifically, a lot of the programs we work on are highly classified, and we all hold clearances, so we're kind of bound by that. But there's a certain number of things that we're allowed to post that are unclassified, and that helps us kind of get the word out on what we're doing, and we like to update people as we get on new programs. We got on a new program not long ago for an F-35 contract.
Okay.
And that, that's a big deal. It's been something we've been trying for, part of the company's been trying for 10 years to get on, and that was a big deal. So we were able to post part of that, and that it looks like that's maybe going to lead to some more work at a couple other companies.
Impressive. I kind of want to transition our conversation. I know AI is a big aspect in a lot of industries, and it's been growing a lot so rapidly and so quickly in the past few months. How has that affected your business, not only in a kind of efficiency standpoint, but also how are you leveraging it to kind of benefit your clients in a more marketing focused role?
Well, I think there's two aspects to it. So specifically for our outreach, we're using OpenClaw and Claude to be able to scrape Rocket Reach and get us, and we of course put a bunch of filters on it because, again, it's tough. We don't have as much manpower as you really need.
Sure.
So we actually leverage those to be able to scrape names off of Rocket Reach, filter them out high up at certain clients that we think we could go after.
Okay.
And that goes into a Google Drive with phone numbers and emails, and also LinkedIn. And then we're able to contact them one by one, however we want to. We're working on setting up. This is kind of a hard task, but we're actually trying to set up another AI bot to be able to not only put the names in Google Drive, but also be able to go in and message through on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And send kind of a maybe a more personalized note. LinkedIn has kind of an AI bot that will automatically send messages, but it's very choppy and a little weird coming across to a new client.
And then kind of to further on, have you seen any companies within your space making mistakes with AI and kind of doing things that maybe aren't client focused or that probably should have been more human checked before they put out?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it. I mean, specifically in the defense community, there's some of our direct competitors, which are other small businesses, tend to post more than they really should. There was a case maybe 8 months ago or 9 months ago. A man at a company posted a little too much information about one of the programs they were on, not knowing that it had not transitioned from classified to unclassified.
I see.
Which of course can be a huge problem. Luckily for them, it didn't end up being as big a problem as it probably should have been. But that's one thing. And again, AI can't take out the relationship base.
Sure.
Consulting and staffing. Like I said, there's hundreds and hundreds of companies that are like us. But the personal touch, specifically with the University of Miami connection, the football connection, something like that. That has really, people make mistakes thinking AI can replace all of that. But at the end of the day, humans are humans. So personal touch, and again, personal feelings are always going to take place in a transaction.
Of course. And then kind of to wrap us up, what is either one thing that you're excited to get to work on in the future, or one thing that you hope to see change within your industry, kind of like whether it's with AI efficiency or other aspects?
Well, we're working on a few projects. This is kind of a step out for us, but we're actually building our own IP to be able to sell to companies, specifically in the finance industry. That has been a tough industry for us to break into.
Okay.
Some of the companies that we've been in contact with, their IT budgets are larger than some companies' total revenue.
Sure.
Some of these companies are 10, 11, 12 billion dollars in IT budgets, so they're way ahead of everybody. So we've actually, in that side of the company, we've pivoted to more building a product and selling it to them, and servicing it. And that has been something that's pretty exciting, and again, something here maybe in the next 6 months we're still working on.
Well, very nice. Thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much.